You know what really gets under my exoskeleton? Humans. Not in the way you might think, though. See, I'm Krikstal, Senior Intelligence Analyst for the Galactic Tribunal, and I have been watching these bipedal maniacs for the better part of 3 rotations now. 3 rotations of pure, unadulterated confusion. Because here's the thing about humans that nobody wants to admit. They are completely, utterly, magnificently insane. And today they have outdone themselves. Krikstal. The voice of my superior Vorth 9 crackled through the comm system like static through a dying hyperdrive. Conference room. Now, bring your human files. Oh, fantastic. Because nothing says good morning like another human crisis. I shuffled my 6 legs across the polished floor of the tribunal station. My human files clutched in my primary appendage. The weight of them had grown considerably over the past few cycles. Humans had this annoying habit of doing things that required extensive documentation. The conference room was already packed when I arrived. Vorth 9 stood at the head of the table, his purple skin darker than usual, which never boded well. Around the table sat representatives from 12 different species, all looking like they'd rather be anywhere else in the galaxy. Gentle beings, Vorth 9 began, his voice carrying that particular tone that suggested someone was about to have a very bad day. We have a situation. He gestured to a holographic display that flickered to life above the table. The image showed a human female, maybe 30 cycles old by their standards, with brown hair and defiant eyes that seemed to stare directly at each of us. Luna Martinez, Vorth 9 continued. Human citizen, registered traitor, and as of 6 standard hours ago, convicted war criminal. I felt my mandibles click involuntarily. War criminal? This was news to me, and I was supposed to know everything about human activities in our sector. What exactly did she do? Asked Kelpvar, the aquatic representative, his gills fluttering with obvious anxiety. She interfered with a sanctioned military operation, Vorth 9 replied. Specifically, she prevented the glassing of a rebellious colony on Theta Prime by warning the inhabitants and helping them evacuate. The room fell silent. Theta Prime had been scheduled for complete sterilization after its inhabitants refused to comply with galactic mining regulations. Standard procedure. Clean, efficient, and completely legal under galactic law. How many survived because of her intervention? This came from Zip-12, whose species had a notorious soft spot for lost causes. Approximately 47,000 beings. Another silence. Longer this time, you could practically hear the moral calculations happening in every mind around the table. And the sentence? I asked, though I already knew the answer would make my day significantly worse. Death by stellar execution. Tomorrow at the 13th hour. Perfect. Just perfect. Because executing a human was exactly like poking a sleeping Rathak with a plasma stick, then wondering why it tried to eat your face. Sir, I said, raising my primary appendage, with respect, have we considered the potential ramifications of this action? Vorth 9's eyes narrowed. Ramifications? Krikstal? Well, humans have this tendency to overreact when one of their own is threatened. It's well documented. They have started 3 separate wars over single individuals in the past century alone. This is different, Vorth 9 said dismissively. This is a legal execution sanctioned by the Galactic Tribunal. Earth will have to accept it. I wanted to laugh. I really did. But the sound that came out was more like a dying hyperdrive cooling down. Sir, you clearly haven't been reading my reports on human psychology. Enlighten us, Krikstal. I stood up, activating my own holographic display. Data streams flowed across the air like digital waterfalls, showing human response patterns, military capabilities, and psychological profiles. Humans have a concept called proportional response, I began. The problem is their definition of proportional is completely divorced from mathematical reality. When they say proportional, they mean overwhelming, devastating, and usually involving explosives. I highlighted a specific data point. Take the Proxima incident. One human trader was cheated out of his cargo. Result: humans blockaded the entire system for 6 months and bankrupted the local government. That was an isolated incident, Vorth said, but his skin was getting darker. The Rigel effect. One human diplomat was insulted at a trade negotiation. Result: humans pulled out of all trade agreements with the Rigel consortium, causing an economic collapse that lasted 2 years. Korvakstal, you are being dramatic. The Betelgeuse situation. One human tourist was overcharged for a hotel room. Result, humans established a competing tourism industry that drove the local economy into the ground within 8 months. I paused, letting that sink in, and those were minor incidents. We are talking about executing one of their citizens for saving lives. The law is the law, Vorth9 said firmly. Human emotional responses are not our concern. That's when the first alarm went off. It started as a low hum, barely noticeable. Then it grew louder, more insistent, until it was screaming through the station's corridors like a banshee with a megaphone. What in the seven nebulae is that? Kelpbar gasped, his gills flapping frantically. The answer came from the communications officer who burst into the room like his tail was on fire. Sir! Long-range sensors are picking up multiple hyperspace signatures. They are big, sir. Really big. Vorth9's skin had gone from purple to a pale lavender. How many? 37 ships, sir. And sir? They are human. The room erupted in chaos. Voices overlapped, each speaking in their native tongue, creating a cacophony that sounded like a universal translator having a nervous breakdown. I just sat there, watching the display update in real time. 37 ships, all human, all heading directly for our position. This is impossible, Vorth9 muttered. The execution isn't for another 26 hours. How did they even know? Sir, I said quietly, might I suggest we review the timeline of events? The main display shifted to show a chronological breakdown. Luna Martinez had been captured 12 hours ago. The trial had taken place 6 hours ago. The sentence had been passed 4 hours ago. And the human fleet? I asked. First hyperspace signature detected 3 hours ago, sir. I felt something that might have been respect for the humans if I were capable of such an emotion. They organized, equipped, and launched a 37-ship fleet in less than 9 hours. Impossible, Vorth9 repeated. Sir, with respect, impossible is the human's specialty. The communications officer was back, this time looking like he'd seen a ghost. Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the lead human vessel. Put it through. The holographic display flickered, then resolved into the image of a human male. It was older than Luna Martinez, maybe 50 cycles, with graying hair and eyes that looked like they'd seen too much. His uniform was crisp, professional, and bore the insignia of the Terran Defense Force. This is Admiral Jake Thompson of the TDF Retribution, he said, his voice carrying the kind of calm that came right before a plasma storm. I'm here to discuss the immediate release of Luna Martinez. Vorth9 stepped forward. Admiral, I am Tribunal Leader Vorth9. Miss Martinez has been convicted of war crimes under Galactic law and sentenced to death. This sentence will be carried out as scheduled. Admiral Thompson's expression didn't change. Not even a muscle twitch. I see, and you are confident in this decision. The law is clear, Admiral. The law, Thompson repeated slowly, like he was tasting the words. Tell me, Tribunal Leader, are you familiar with human law? Human law has no jurisdiction here. You are right, Thompson said, and I swear I could hear the smile in his voice even though his face remained perfectly neutral. But you might be interested to know that under Terran law, what Luna Martinez did is called humanitarian aid. We give medals for that sort of thing. Irrelevant. Is it? Because I have got 36 ships out here, each one carrying a crew that volunteered for this mission. You want to know why they volunteered, Tribunal Leader? Vuda9 said nothing, but I could see his hands trembling slightly, because every single one of them has read Luna Martinez's file. Every single one of them knows what she did, and every single one of them knows that if they were in her position, they would have done the exact same thing. Thompson leaned forward slightly. Here's what's going to happen. You are going to release Luna Martinez. You are going to expunge her records and you are going to issue a formal apology for this entire fiasco. Or what? Ubis-9 asked, though his voice had lost most of its authority. Or I will show you why humans have never lost a war when we really truly believed we were in the right. The transmission cut out, leaving the room in stunned silence. He's bluffing. Ubis-9 said finally. 37 ships against a fully defended tribunal station? The odds are in our favor. I pulled up the tactical display. Sir, might I point out that those aren't just any ships. That's the Terran Defense Force's 7th Fleet. The same fleet that pacified the Andromedan rebels. The same fleet that single-handedly held off the Centauri invasion for 3 months. Numbers don't lie, Crickstyle. We have superior firepower. Sir, there's something else. The communications officer was back, and this time he looked genuinely terrified. We are detecting additional hyperspace signatures. Lots of them. The tactical display updated. New contacts appeared on the screen like digital rain, one after another, until the display was crowded with hostile signatures. How many? Vorthline whispered. 237 additional ships, sir. They are broadcasting Terran identification codes. I felt my respiratory system skip a beat. Sir, that's not a rescue fleet. That's an invasion force. This is insane, Kelptver gasped. They are going to war over one individual? No, I said, realizing the truth with crystal clarity. They are going to war over a principle, and there's nothing more dangerous in the galaxy than a human with a principle. The communications system crackled to life again. This time it wasn't Admiral Thompson. It was a new voice, female, with the kind of authority that made entire star systems pay attention. This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Kane of the Terran Defense Force. The voice said, I'm speaking directly to the Galactic Tribunal. You have 1 hour to release Luna Martinez and provide her with safe passage to human space. Failure to comply will result in immediate military action. 1 hour? Verth 9's voice cracked. This is extortion. No, came the reply. This is diplomacy. You will know when we switch to extortion because the explosions will be much louder. The transmission ended, leaving us in a silence so complete I could hear my own circulatory system pumping. Options? Verth 9 asked weakly. Well, I said, consulting my notes. We could release Luna Martinez and avoid a war that will probably result in the complete destruction of this station and everyone on it. Or we could stick to our principles and become a very expensive lesson in human psychology for future generations. Verth 9 looked around the table at the assembled representatives. Every single one of them was staring at him with the same expression, the universal look of beings who had just realized they were standing in the path of an avalanche. The humans are serious about this, Zip-12 said quietly. They have committed nearly 300 ships to rescue one individual. It's not about the individual, I corrected. It's about what she represents. To them, Luna Martinez isn't just a person, she's a symbol. She's proof that doing the right thing matters more than following orders, and they are willing to go to war over a symbol. Vorth 9 asked, Sir, humans have gone to war over much less. They once fought a century-long conflict over the proper way to prepare a hot beverage. That's an exaggeration. The Earth Proxima T Wars, sir. 47 major battles, 312 minor skirmishes, and an estimated death toll of 2.7 million beings. All because someone served tea with the wrong temperature water. The room fell silent again. In the distance I could hear the station's defensive systems powering up. A low hum that vibrated through the deck plating. Sir, the communications officer said, we are receiving multiple transmissions from across the galaxy. Other human colonies are demanding updates on Luna Martinez's status. The Terran News Network is broadcasting this story live. There are protest ships gathering in 17 different systems. Protest ships? Vorth 9 asked. Civilian vessels, sir. Thousands of them. They are not armed, but they are all heading toward Tribunal space. I pulled up the communications intercepts. The messages were flooding in faster than our systems could process them. Humans from across the galaxy, all demanding Luna Martinez's release, all threatening various forms of economic, political, and social retaliation if she was harmed. Sir, I said, I think we need to consider the possibility that we have made a serious miscalculation. What do you mean? I mean we have just declared war on the entire human species, and historically speaking, that's never ended well for anyone. Another alarm began sounding. This one was different, more urgent, with a rhythm that made my exoskeleton itch. What now? Vorth 9 demanded. Hyperspace signatures, sir. Multiple contacts dropping out of FTL directly on our position. The tactical display exploded with new contacts. Ships materializing out of hyperspace like digital ghosts, surrounding the station in a perfect sphere of controlled aggression. They are here, I said unnecessarily. Battle stations, North 9 shouted. All defensive systems online. Prepare for combat. But even as the station's weapons powered up, I was reading the tactical analysis. The human fleet wasn't just surrounding us. They were positioned with mathematical precision, every angle covered, every escape route blocked, every possible defensive strategy already countered. Sir, I said quietly, I don't think they are here to negotiate. That's when the communications system activated again, broadcasting on all frequencies simultaneous. This is Admiral Kane, the voice said, cold as the vacuum of space. Galactic Tribunal, you now have 59 minutes to release Luna Martinez. I want to make something perfectly clear to everyone listening. We didn't come here to start a war. We came here to end one. The transmission paused, and in that pause, I could feel the weight of history settling on all of us. But if you insist on harming an innocent woman for doing the right thing, then you will learn why humanity has never backed down from a fight when principles are on the line. You will learn why we have never lost a war when we truly believed in our cause. And you will learn why the galaxy has learned to respect the words Terran Defense Force. Another pause. Longer this time. 58 minutes, Tribunal Leader. Choose wisely. The transmission ended, leaving us in a silence that felt like the moment before a star goes supernova. Sir, I said, I have a recommendation. Yes? Release Luna Martinez. Now, before this gets any worse. Worse? Worth 9's voice was barely a whisper. How could this possibly get worse? That's when the third alarm went off. And the fourth. And the fifth. Sir, the communications officer shouted over the din. We are detecting massive hyperspace signatures throughout the sector. It's not just humans, sir. We are reading Centauri Defense Force signatures. Andromedan Republic ships. Even the Rigel Consortium is mobilizing. What? Worth 9's skin had gone completely white. Why? I pulled up the intelligence reports that were flooding in. The answer was both simple and terrifying. Sir, it appears that several alien species have decided to support the human position. They are calling it the Luna Martinez Coalition. Coalition? Yes, sir. Apparently, news of Luna Martinez's actions has spread throughout the galaxy. Her story has become, and I quote, a rallying cry for justice against bureaucratic oppression. The tactical display updated again. More ships. More signatures. More species joining what was rapidly becoming the largest military alliance in galactic history. Sir, I said, I think we need to accept that we have made a fundamental error in judgment. Error in judgment? We sentenced a hero to death, sir. And the galaxy has noticed. Worth 9 slumped into his chair, his skin now a pale gray that suggested complete systemic shock. How many ships are we facing now? Current count is 1,473 vessels, sir. And the number is growing. 57 minutes, I said, checking the chronometer. 57 minutes to prevent the largest war in galactic history. And somewhere in the detention block of this station, a human woman named Luna Martinez was probably wondering why saving 47,000 lives had become the catalyst for a conflict that might reshape the entire galaxy. I had to admit, even for humans, this was terrifying, but impressive. 56 minutes. I was staring at the chronometer like it might spontaneously combust when the detention block supervisor burst into the conference room. His name was Clevate, and he looked like someone had just told him his entire species was about to be extinct. Sir, he gasped, his breathing apparatus working overtime. There's a problem with the prisoner. What kind of problem? Worth 9 asked, though his voice suggested he really didn't want to know. She's singing, sir. I felt my mandibles twitch. Singing? Yes, sir. Human songs. Something about freedom and justice and Clevate's voice cracked. Sir, half the detention staff is crying. Crying? The songs are really good, sir. Really, really good. And she's got this voice that makes you want to believe in things. Better things. I wanted to laugh, but the sound that came out was more like a dying hyperdrive having an existential crisis. Of course Luna Martinez was singing. Of course she was inspiring people even while locked up, because humans couldn't just sit quietly and wait for rescue like normal beings. No, they had to make everything dramatic. 55 minutes, I announced to the room. 55 minutes before the largest military alliance in galactic history decides whether we live or die. Options? Worth 9 asked again. though we all knew what the only rational option was. We could release her, suggested Zip-12. We could apologize, added Kelp. We could beg for mercy, offered Top Firm Prime, who had been silent up until now. Or, I said, pulling up the latest intelligence reports, we could examine exactly what we are dealing with here. The holographic display shifted to show the growing fleet position. It was like watching a three-dimensional chess game where every piece was a warship and every move could start a war. The human fleet is positioned in perfect defensive formation, I explained. But they are not the only ones. The Centauri ships are covering the hyperspace exit points. The Andromedan vessels are running interference patterns, and the Regil Consortium has somehow managed to deploy their entire merchant marine as a supply chain. Supply chain? Vorf9's voice was getting higher with each word. Yes, sir. They are not just here to fight. They are here to stay. This isn't a rescue mission anymore. This is a siege. The communications officer was back, and this time he looked like he'd given up all hope of survival. Sir, we are receiving additional transmissions. The Terran News Network is broadcasting live from the fleet. They are calling it the Luna Martinez Liberation. Liberation? Yes, sir. Apparently this has become the biggest story in galactic history. Every major news network is covering it. There are betting pools on 17 different worlds. The Vegan Trade Union has issued a statement of support. Even the Neutral Zone Council is considering a resolution. A resolution. Something about the fundamental right to humanitarian action and the moral imperative to resist unjust authority. I felt something that might have been panic if I were capable of such an emotion. Sir, I think we need to understand what's really happening here. What do you mean? This isn't about Luna Martinez anymore. This is about everything she represents. Every being in the galaxy who has ever wanted to do the right thing but was stopped by bureaucracy. Every species that has ever felt powerless against authority. Every individual who has ever dreamed of standing up to injustice. The tactical display updated again. More ships, more signature, more species joining what was rapidly becoming less of a military alliance and more of a galactic revolution. Current count is now 2,143 vessels. Sir, the communications officer reported. And sir, we are detecting civilian transports. Thousands of civilian transports. Refugee ships. Sir, families who want to witness history. Journalists. Musicians, artists, even some philosophers. Philosophers? Yes, sir. Apparently, this has become a defining moment in galactic ethics. The philosophy departments of 12 major universities have chartered ships to observe the proceedings. I pulled up the communications intercepts. The messages were incredible. Beings from across the galaxy, all expressing support for Luna Martinez. All condemning the Tribunal's actions, all demanding justice. Sir, I said quietly, I think we need to accept that we have fundamentally misunderstood what we are dealing with. Explain. We thought we were executing a criminal. Instead, we have created a martyr. We thought we were enforcing the law. Instead, we have become the symbol of everything wrong with authority. We thought we were maintaining order. Instead, we have sparked a revolution. 54 minutes came the announcement over the comm system. That's when the next transmission came through, but this time it wasn't from the human fleet. It was from Luna Martinez herself. This is Luna Martinez, her voice said, clear and strong despite her circumstances. I want to speak directly to the beings of the galaxy who are gathering here today. The conference room fell silent. Every eye, sensor, and optical device focused on the communication display. I want you to know that I'm not afraid, Luna continued. I'm not afraid because I know that what I did was right. I saved 47,000 lives. I helped families escape destruction. I chose compassion over compliance. Her voice carried a quality that made my exoskeleton tingle. It was the sound of absolute conviction, of someone who had found their purpose and refused to let it go. But this isn't about me anymore. This is about all of us. This is about the kind of galaxy we want to live in. We want a galaxy where saving lives is a crime, where helping others is punishable by death, where following your conscience makes you a criminal. The transmission paused, and in that pause I could feel the weight of 2,000 ships listening to every word. I have been told that fleets have gathered to save me, that beings from across the galaxy are demanding my release. I'm honored by your support, but I want to make something clear. Don't fight for me, fight for the principle. Fight for the idea that doing the right thing should never be wrong. Another pause. This one felt like the moment before a star is born. If I die today, let it be with the knowledge that my death meant something. Let it be with the understanding that sometimes one person's choice to do the right thing can change everything. Let it be with the hope that the galaxy will be better because we chose compassion over compliance. The transmission ended, leaving us in a silence that felt like the vacuum of space itself. "Sir," I said, "we have to release her. Now." "Why?" "Because if we don't, we are not just executing Luna Martinez. We are executing the hope that good people can make a difference. We are telling the galaxy that authority matters more than morality. We are becoming the villains in a story that will be told for generations." 53 minutes, the chronometer announced. Borth 9 looked around the table at the assembled representatives. Every single one of them was staring at him with the same expression, the universal look of beings who had just realized they were on the wrong side of history. "The damage is done," he said finally. "Even if we release her now, we look weak. We look like we gave in to pressure." "Sir," I said, "with respect, we are weak. We are giving in to pressure. The only question is whether we do it with some dignity and tact or after a war that will make us the most hated government in galactic history." That's when the fourth transmission came through. This one was different. This one made my circulatory system skip several beats. "This is Captain Maria Santos of the TDF Thunderbolt," the voice said. "I'm broadcasting on all frequencies from the detention block of the Tribunal station." "What?" Borth 9's skin went completely transparent. "How did they get inside?" "Sir," the communications officer said, his voice barely a whisper, "it appears that a small human strike team has infiltrated the station." "Infiltrated? How?" "Unknown, sir. But they are in the detention block. They are with Luna Martinez." The transmission continued. "To all beings listening, this is Captain Santos. I'm standing here with Luna Martinez, who is alive and well. We have come to escort her to safety." "This is impossible," Borth 9 muttered. "The station is heavily defended. The detention block is secure. How did they get past our security?" I pulled up the security feeds. The screens showed corridors full of unconscious guards, disabled security systems, and blast doors that had been opened with surgical precision. "Sir," I said, "I think we need to consider the possibility that we have been outmaneuvered." "Outmaneuvered?" "Yes, sir. While we were watching their fleet, they sent in a strike team. While we were counting their ships, they were already inside. While we were debating what to do, they were already doing it." The security feeds shifted to show the detention block. There, in perfect clarity, was Luna Martinez. She was standing with a team of humans in tactical gear, all of them calm, professional, and completely in control of the situation. "Ma'am," one of the humans was saying to Luna, "we are here to take you home." "I appreciate that," Luna replied, "but I want to make sure everyone understands what this means." "Ma'am?" "This means that when good people are threatened, other good people will always come to help. This means that doing the right thing is never wrong. This means that the galaxy is full of heroes, and sometimes they wear uniforms." The strike team leader nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Now if you will come with us, we have a fleet waiting to escort you to safety." "A fleet?" "Yes, ma'am. About 2,000 ships last count. They are all here for you." Luna Martinez smiled, and even through the security feed I could see the hope in her eyes. "Then let's not keep them waiting." The transmission switched back to Captain Santos. "Tribunal Station. This is Captain Santos. We are leaving now. We are taking Luna Martinez with us. Anyone who tries to stop us will be met with appropriate force." "Appropriate force?" The Thoth 9 asked. "Sir," the tactical officer reported, "we are detecting weapons signatures throughout the station. They have placed charges at strategic points. If we try to stop them, they can disable our entire defensive grid." "How many are there?" "Unknown, sir. But they are everywhere. They have been inside for hours. Maybe longer. They know this station better than we do." I felt something that might have been admiration if I were capable of such an emotion. "Sir, I think we need to accept that we have been completely outplayed." Outplayed? Yes, sir. While we were focused on the big picture, they were handling the details. While we were planning for a siege, they were already executing a rescue. While we were debating what to do, they were already doing it. The security feeds showed the strike team moving through the station with perfect coordination. They knew every corridor, every access point, every security measure. They had studied this station like it was their job. Sir, I said, I think we need to consider the possibility that this entire situation was planned from the beginning. Planned? Yes, sir. Think about it. Luna Martinez gets captured. The trial happens quickly. The sentence is passed. The fleet mobilizes. The strike team infiltrates. Everything happens with perfect timing. Are you suggesting this was all coordinated? I'm suggesting that humans are a lot more clever than we give them credit for. I'm suggesting that they saw this coming and prepared for it. I'm suggesting that we have been playing checkers while they have been playing three-dimensional chess. The chronometer showed 51 minutes remaining. Sir, the communications officer said, we are receiving a final transmission from the human fleet. Put it through. Sir, holographic display flickered to life, showing Admiral Kane once more. But this time, she was smiling. Tribunal Leader Vorth 9, she said. I want to thank you for your cooperation. Cooperation? Yes. You have just helped us demonstrate something important to the galaxy. You have shown that when good people are threatened, other good people will always come to help. You have shown that doing the right thing is worth fighting for. You have shown that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Kane's smile grew wider. Luna Martinez is safe. She's on her way to a transport that will take her home. The crisis is over. And the fleet will be leaving shortly. We have accomplished what we came here to do. Luna Martinez is free, and the galaxy has learned something important about the value of standing up for what's right. The transmission paused and Kane's expression grew serious. But I want to make something clear, Tribunal Leader. This isn't over. The galaxy is watching. The galaxy is learning. And the galaxy is remembering. What does that mean? It means that the next time someone tries to punish compassion, they will remember what happened here today. It means that the next time someone tries to make helping others illegal, they will remember the Luna Martinez liberation. It means that the next time bureaucracy tries to crush the human spirit, they will remember that sometimes 2,000 ships in a righteous cause can change everything. Kane's smile returned. Thank you for the lesson, Tribunal Leader. The galaxy won't forget it. The transmission ended, leaving us in a silence that felt like the aftermath of a supernova. Sir, I said, I think we need to prepare our resignation letters. Resignation letters. Yes, sir, because after today, I don't think any of us will be welcome in galactic politics ever again. The tactical display showed the human fleet beginning to withdraw. Ship by ship, they were disappearing into hyperspace, their mission complete. The other species were following suit, their solidarity demonstrated, their point made. Sir, the communications officer said, we are receiving transmission requests from every major news network in the galaxy. They want statements. They want explanations. They want to know how we let this happen. How we let this happen. The Dwarfenine's voice was barely a whisper. Sir, I think the answer is simple. I said. We forgot that sometimes the law is wrong. We forgot that sometimes doing the right thing is more important than following orders. We forgot that sometimes one person's courage can inspire an entire galaxy. I stood up, gathering my files. Sir, if you will excuse me, I need to update my reports on human psychology. Updates? Yes, sir. I need to add a new section. Something about how humans define impossible as a challenge waiting to be accepted. Something about how they turn rescue missions into liberation movements. Something about how they make heroes out of ordinary people who do extraordinary things. I headed for the door, then paused. Oh, and sir, I'm recommending that we establish a new protocol for dealing with human prisoners. What kind of protocol? The kind that assumes they are probably right about whatever they did, and we are probably wrong for arresting them. I left the conference room and headed back to my office, where I would spend the next several hours trying to explain to my superiors how a single human woman had just reorganized galactic politics by refusing to let innocent people die. It was going to be a long report. But as I walked through the corridors of the Tribunal station, I could hear something that made my mandibles click with what might have been satisfaction. From the speakers throughout the station, someone was playing a recording of Luna Martinez singing. The song was about hope, about courage, about the belief that good people will always find a way to help each other. And for the first time in my career, I found myself believing every word. Because today I had learned something important about humans. They don't just fight for their own. They fight for their principles. They fight for the idea that saving lives should never be a crime. They fight for the hope that the galaxy can be better than it is. And sometimes, just sometimes, they win. The Luna Martinez liberation was over. But the legend was just beginning. And somewhere in the galaxy a human woman was going home, knowing that her choice to save 47,000 lives had inspired 2,000 ships and changed the course of galactic history. Not bad for a day's work. Even for a human, that was impressive. Actually, especially for a human, that was the most human thing I had ever witnessed.